I'm excited to chat with you because you have some incredible new music out
Thank you.
on this debut album. They often describe you just as rock music, but how do you tend to describe yourself?
I've struggled to find the right way
Sure.
um to describe it. I don't really know. It's got so many influences from so many places. I think rock is probably the closest if you're trying to be general. But there's like folk influences and like classic rock influences and like modern stuff and like Broadway influences and yeah, I think it's just a million things. It's like poppy too. It's the structures, they're written like pop songs, so it's like kind of got a pop vibe. um but yeah, like pop rock, somewhere in there, rock, pop rock. Just good music, I think. Just music from the heart.
Very well. And who were some of the artists that you listened to when you were growing up?
When I was really young, it was the Rolling Stones and the Beatles and Glenn Campbell and the Mamas and the Papas and Crosby, Stills and Nash. All the stuff my dad loved. He still lives in that era, really, with what he listens to. And then I kind of missed the '90s and early 2000s because that was mostly what I was hearing. And then I kind of caught on to like the '90s rock stuff later. And I heard bands like Triumph, who's like a great Canadian band, um, and Van Halen and Def Leppard and um, Elton John and Queen. I kind of got them a little later. My dad loved Elton John, but I didn't hear it that much. And so basically, my music is that. That's like what I feel like. It's a huge combination of stuff like the Foo Fighters, and I have a very deep love for Coldplay. As soon as I heard Coldplay, I fell in love, and it's probably my most listened to band still, over the last 15 years. Um, and I love them very much. And so I like to think that all of that put together kind of makes me.
Well, this album, as I talked about, is it's hard to believe it's your debut because there's such wonderful music that you explore on Lord of the Flies and Birds and Bees.
Yes.
Talk about the title.
Title comes from first, it just sounded really cool. And I think there's a lot of things that people in art communities probably come up with and just say this sounds cool, and then they give it meaning later. And so I'm kind of still trying to figure out exactly what it is. But I was writing a song called Wasteland, which is on the record, and there's a line in the second verse that says Lord of the Flies and Birds and Bees. And as soon as I said it, I realized that it sounded cool, and at that moment I decided it would be the title. And that was maybe the second song we wrote for it, something like that. And so it's pretty early on, but it just made sense. I was kind of the spaceman character, and then now it's like protector of the apocalyptic forest kind of vibe, like fantasy, like futuristic. I don't know exactly, but it seemed to fit that vibe and energy, so we went with it.
My favorite songs off of the album are Runaway to Mars
Hmm.
and A Little Bit Happy.
Hmm.
Do you have any personal favorites off of this? Because it sort of feels like Meatloaf meets like 80s, 90s hits, but also Broadway
Mm.
there
Yeah,
too.
there's like some operatic Meatloaf stuff. I have a special thing with every song. I think there's a reason why I love them and pick them all. Um, but the last song on the album, "Set on Me," I really really love. I think it encompasses the whole message of the record, which is don't give up on yourself. Basically, all this stuff happens and things are crazy, and the grass is always greener. But the most important thing is to like not give up and always follow your dreams, and that's kind of what that song says at the end. And so that song, it was the quickest written other than Runaway to Mars, which was like 20 minutes or something,
Wow.
in my bed 3 years ago or 4 years ago at 3 in the morning. And so it's the one since then that I've had a similar like just conscious kind of flow, of lyrics and music, with that one. But I love them all really.
It's a great segue then into my next question, which is, do you tend to have a specific songwriting process? Is there lyrics that can come before music, or do you need to find sort of a beat in your head and then you record it and then find lyrics that tend to emotionally tie you to that song?
Yeah, I think it changes. I think it changes constantly. The more I do it, and like Sometimes it's like a bolt of lightning like Mars, or sometimes it's kind of something that's stewing in your mind for a while. Um, I think I hear something in my head usually and go with it for ideas. When I'm in a room collaborating with multiple friends, I love the energy of a room full of people bouncing stuff off each other. It's something I've really come to love. But when I'm alone or I have an idea for a song, um, oftentimes it's like hear it in my head without anything, and then try and figure out what I'm hearing, and then develop it from there. And it changes usually. Um, Mars didn't really change. It was the only one that I've ever had that was like the whole song was just there. But everything else, I've tried to kind of take the lessons from that and apply them to other songs that I've written. Um, but yeah.
Well, Just Enchanter is your EP.
Hmm.
How much of a say, though, do you have when it comes to the production side of the music that you make?
I'm very particular about everything that goes on with my career, from business stuff to production and writing and everything, outfits, makeup, stage show, every single thing I have my hand in, because I love everything that has to do with being an artist. Um, and I co-produced on all the tracks with someone named Connor Riddell, who's my co-producer. He's been my co-producer for years. We've worked on everything together, and he's my live band guitar player, also my MD. Um, and so we have co-production on everything, and we're very involved in every aspect. And it's part of building a song that I love the most is the production side of it too, and exploring like what things are supposed to sound like is something I love very much.
This is such a special album for you, and you got to recently open up for Shania Twain, who has become a big fan of yours. What does that mean to you?
It's great. It's amazing. She's so sweet and so nice, and so welcoming. When we played with her, she was my first CD that I ever bought was up from her. Um, and my dad likes to say that I had a big crush on her, but I was like 6 years old, so I think he probably had the crush on her. Um, but yeah, I blasted that CD for years, and I still have the CD as she signed it and everything. And it's been, I don't think it'll play on anything. Like that thing was like 6 year old me. I was like using that in a Walkman every day. And so like I got my grubby fingers all over it, and it's scratched all to shit, and it's in rough shape. But I haven't actually tried putting it in the CD player. So I think I'm just gonna keep it framed or something
I
for
would.
now. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. It's a personal
It's
memento.
yeah, she wrote like to I think she wrote to Nick, maybe she wrote to Talk. I forget. She wrote something like that, and she said like love Shania, and it was a big full circle moment for me.
You will be having some live shows here in 2024 as well for the
Yes.
album. What songs off Lord of the Flies and Birds and Bees are you looking forward to performing live?
There's a few we haven't played yet that I haven't played yet. Set on Me is one of them. The track at the end. I haven't done that live. Um, this is it. We haven't done live. I think everything else we currently play.
Fall for
But I think
You.
yeah, Fall for You is great live. It's a lot of fun. We love doing that one. Um, yeah, I'm excited to just play everything, because I think every song will be in the set. I mean, it wouldn't. I feel like your first album, you probably should play every song, right? And so I'm excited to play them all and see, because I was playing these songs this year leading up to the album release, but they weren't out. So it's always tough to know what people are going to love live because they don't have the album in hand. And so you're playing these new songs they've never heard before, and you get a great reaction because they're there to see you and they love you. But I think it'll be even more amazing once people have heard the songs.
Well, it kicks off February 9th in Detroit. What can fans
Yes.
expect from a live talk performance?
It's always been my favorite part of the whole thing. I think the show is incredible. I think I work my ass off every single night to make it the best possible experience for every single person there. I want to be memorable. I want people to walk out saying that I'm their new favorite artist. And I think I've had a lot of success in opening slots over the last year and a half. And I always just try and go in and impress everyone that's there. And I love having a good time and meeting people and making friends. And that's what I want people to do at my shows. Um, Loud, proud, sparkly, colorful, beautiful, emotional talk live show. That's what I go for.
What do you hope lingers with people who explore this new album, your debut album, as a whole?
I think um keeping a bit of the theme that I intended with them, like never giving up, is really important. I think there's a lot of people that resonate with Runaway to Mars and a little bit happy because they've heard those songs.
Sure.
Um, they've heard those songs so many times, and I've gotten thousands and thousands of messages of people who have found meaning in these songs for their own lives, which is exactly what I want. I have my own meaning in the songs, but I don't expect everyone to have the same thing. And so finding love and joy and peace or a minute escape from life by listening to it is great. Um, but it's I the never give up on yourself is really my big message. Love everyone and never give up.
Well, not to twist your arm, but you'll have maybe some new music in the works already, or are you focusing right now on birds and bees and Lord of the Flies?
It's been an intense it's been an intense year, 2 years, year and a half, whatever it's been. Um and so I think we went from playing like 10 shows a year to like 80 or something. And so it's been quite a jump. And right now there's always ideas and there's always little demos and stuff. But right now I'm just focusing on preparing for next year.
Is there someone you would love to collaborate with on a song in the future? Clearly, Shania, you might have thrown it out there already for her
I
when you
mean,
met
Shania would be great. I
her.
think my favorites right now are Tom Odell and Noah Kahan, Billy Strings. I love all of those artists so much, and they've been so nice to me, and kind and offered advice and offered love. And Teddy Swims is another artist that I love very much. I'm seeing him in a couple of days. We became friends earlier this year at a festival and kind of kept in touch. And so I'm thinking maybe something with him could be great. We've talked about it a little bit. Um, and Coldplay is the real. Chris Martin is the real. That's the real finale. That's the final boss
We're
for me.
manifest. We have to
Oh,
manifest.
I've been manifesting that for a decade. I might have manifested that more than anyone manifesting anything in the entire world. That's all I think about. But I'm happy with whatever comes my way. I'm trying to have fun and make good music and meet good people. And so I'm down for anything.
Well, I know how much your fans mean to you. You showed me the wall you've started creating of the wonderful fan art that
Mm-hmm.
they've made for you.
Mm-hmm.
What would you like to say to people who are fans and supporters of the beautiful and really incredible music that you make that really resonates with them?
Thank you. Um, I I I have the one of the strongest fan bases that of any artist I've seen in a long time. They've been with me, a lot of them, since the start. It's been a lot of the same people, and it's grown to a community of beautiful, sweet, kind, accepting people, and that's my whole goal was to do that. Um, I've never gotten a DM that was mean or anything. It's always the sweetest things that people have ever said. And people being so courteous and generous and saying, I know you don't have a lot of time. If you happen to see this, just acknowledging that you've read this would mean the world. Like, it's just the sweetest people. Um, and and on Facebook we have a community called Nice People Only. That's like an invite only, like people have to like join it, and we approve them and stuff. And it's just people posting their pets and like their everyday lives and making friends and coming together. And that's something that I want to continue. And I want my shows to be that. You come to a show alone, you leave with friends is the idea. Because that's what I would have wanted when I didn't have that. And so I want to thank everyone who's listened, and bought the album or bought merch or bought tickets or done anything that lets me go to bed knowing that when I wake up I get to live my dream all over again. That means a lot, so I appreciate it.